Hi, Chandrea. She said, I just finished this morning's flow. There's something wrong with you. So you just did the flow and now you're going to do the detox? That's amazing. Nice double. Well, it's Friday. So Friday, I always, behind the scenes have these little themes in my mind, and they're pretty consistent. They run week to week, and most of the time I don't really say much about them. But it's nice in the background to have that. And when you're guiding, and normally a Friday morning I teach 6 a.m. and 7:30 at the studio, and I kind of tag it as our playground, and where we'll do some things a little bit different, or playing some different transitions, coming into poses, coming out of poses, and so it's a way to kind of ignite that playfulness, as typically we were conditioned of going into a weekend. But look at us now, we're doing a Friday night detox yoga, probably the best thing we could be doing for ourselves right now. And so I'm glad to be here with you all. AJ. Yeah, no feeling in Sherman Oaks of the earthquake. Yeah, I didn't, we're down in mid-city. I didn't feel anything, but 4.6, kind of down. I think it was northeast of San Diego. Not that far away, and typically you'd think you'd feel that for sure. Hi, Roxanne. Vanessa, what's going on? Nice to see you. Spotify account is under Joe Komar, Komar. And then you'll see there's a playlist for every class every day. And so it's the Urban Detox Live for April 3rd. Kari, so far you're the only one that that felt it. But it was like text message from Kari, and then all of a sudden I heard the sirens going off, and so you'd figure things happen for sure. A little tip on the video, you guys, if you're getting buffering issues, I've noticed in the evenings and sometimes on the weekends, I think when more people are doing the Zoom or the Hangouts and things like that, that the bandwidth or the internet slows down a lot. So if you turn the quality of your video playback down to the lowest quality, I stream on the lowest quality right now because it just doesn't have the strength and to do a HD stream, but it's all good as long as we're getting it across as clearly as we possibly can. So just lower that quality and then you should be able to avoid buffering issues. Let's see, we got about 3 minutes, so in a minute or so I'll start the stream on the Earbuds Music app. Really cool app because what you're getting is exactly happening at the same time as what I'm getting in my earpiece here. So, it's cool in the flows and the detox. I think it's just nice. The music is another layer to our experience. And if we can feel those vibrations or we can hear those sounds in a similar time as we're going through and relaxing into these poses, then helps us feel a little bit more closely connected, like we're in the studio. Nice, Kari. Hey, Debo. I'm going to mention this and keep throwing it out at you guys because the greatest challenge that you'll probably have, you've all done yoga, we've done detox together, and if you're new, welcome. But the greatest challenge you'll have at home is just staying on your mat. There's so many ways for your mind to take you off of your mat, and you're in a space and where it's less contained. It doesn't have that container of holding you like you feel when you're in the studio and that door closes for the last time when the teacher walks in, and you kind of know that you're going on that magic carpet ride. But if anything, do everything that you can by doing nothing at all, and stay on your mat for 60 minutes. Even if you lie down, even if you peace out and take a snooze and just listen to the music and stay on your mat for 60 minutes, it'll serve us and give us exactly what we need. Hi Roz, love that you're doing the double. Ari, welcome back. And of course, man, anything that we can do in this time to, center ourselves in these days and these moments. I tell you, it's like the afternoon, it gets twisted sometimes. The information, your life, your family, your kids, your everything, it just starts spiraling. So that's why we've added the second class is, help us ground, help us get back into that space of peace before we go to bed, or kind of roll out of this day and see if we can still find some gratitude and some love and some compassion for what this day was. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start the earbuds music app so we can make sure you guys are getting that. If you're on Spotify, you can go ahead and start your Spotify playlist. Hi David and Svetlana, welcome you guys. Of course. Hi Valerie. All right, you guys, so I'm going to be seated. I'm going to welcome you to lie down onto your mat. I haven't mentioned this yet, but I'm doing the poses with you. I'm doing them in the flow, I'm doing them in the detox, and if I happen to peace out, if I fall asleep or something, I'll come back, I think. But it's possible. We melt in these positions where letting go of those attachments, right? And the real gift is, even when you're guiding this, it's not a plan. You can't put a plan into a moment. You can only put yourself in this position and then see what happens from there. And so like lying down on your back right now, and tuck your shoulders under once on each side. And take a nice big deep breath, and then exhale. You can release all of your air. And throughout this entire practice, it is a natural breath. Unless I offer you the invitation to take a deeper breath or a sigh exhale, and just let your breath be natural. There's no breathing into the sensations. And there's no drawing your mind to focus on your breath. None of that. In complete contradiction from our practice this morning. And so as you feel your body tonight land on your mat, let's start down and observing any sensations towards the tips of your toes and the soles of your feet. And the soles of your feet into your ankles and through your shins and your lower legs and through your knees into your upper thighs. And you just kind of visualize this like water running through your body all the way up through your belly, into your chest, into your shoulders, down your back and across your neck. And eventually all the way out and through your arms, softening your palms as they're facing up towards the sky. And just so that we can make sure that we're settled, let's take one more deeper breath in here. And let go, exhale, release all the air out of your body. You notice your headspace will change pretty quickly. And so I encourage you to let go of your attachment to time. If you got a watch on, if you got a clock by you, slide it away. Let it go. I'll hold space for you. And slowly start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And then take your arms over your head, and then you can roll out your wrists and roll out your ankles. Go ahead and bend your legs. Bring your feet flat onto the mat, please. And roll onto your right side in the fetal position, and so your knees are drawing towards your chest. And you can use your right arm as a headrest. And you release your cheeks, close down the eyes. And let go of whatever might be going on around you right now, and start to draw yourself deeper inside with the eyes closed and the belly soft. Curled up into a little ball, but not holding on into any of the anxiety or the fear. There's no clench in your muscles. There's just this relaxation of gravity flowing through your body and meeting a moment of stillness. Feel your body in through your hips and through your shoulders. And then tonight, let's make our first pose a child's pose. So use your left hand and come around so you're on all fours. In ways that you might support, you can put towels under your knees. You can put a pillow in between your feet so your bum has something to rest on. And you can put a pillow under your forehead. And so go with it and be intuitive about your process. And whereas you can make yourself as comfortable as you possibly can, and certainly feeling the body and the shape, but knowing that you're heading in the direction to a deeper and deeper release. The elbows can splay out, and make any little adjustments and that you may need in your hips, and to release your belly through your inner thighs. And then go ahead and let your forehead come down to rest. And the reality of the situation is that our culture up to this point, our society and the drive, it really doesn't teach us and to slow down like this practice teaches us to slow down, in order to accept space or to receive stillness as a teacher, and sometimes even moments of silence and nothingness. And so even if you've done this before, every time you come to your mat, in this style of practice, it's always going to be something different. And there's always going to be a unique combination of things in that we're being held in your body that will slowly begin to release things you know about, things that you don't know about, and a lot of things that you weren't aware of. So I'm going to give you these larger pockets of silence and to just drift and to release. And the last thing you need to do is come out and try to see what I'm doing. I'll give you the verbal cue. And so in the silence, just continue to rest. And if your mind starts to drift away from being in this shape, let it go wherever it wants to go. And observe your thoughts without trying to pull them back. without trying to change them or move them in a direction, and then you can fall right into the meditation. As you continue to surrender all of the weight through the front of your skull, notice how that releases and tightness that was sitting inside or in the back of your jaw. And throughout the muscles in your face and under your eyes and around your cheeks. All of those smaller muscles can begin to relax. And believe it or not, we carry a lot of heaviness and a lot of stress in our face. You know, when somebody is really stressed out, and you know them pretty well, you can see it when they walk through the door. And even though we're not moving around swiftly, it's actually a deeper practice and related to the physical body. And because you're drawn with gravity and you're holding a pretty deep sense of compression into these parts of the body, wherever the focus lies. And so you're probably going to feel something different than you normally would. You know, even if you labeled one hip as your tight hip versus your open hip, all you got to do is rest, and you're promoting balance for your body. You're taking that stigma. The stories say you have an injury on one side of your body, you're letting that go. And you're treating everything the same, because stillness and release is the key for your body to heal itself from the inside out. If you're holding on in any way, let that go for about the last minute here. And feel all of this compression release from your hips. Nice and slowly, and start to make your way forward onto your hands, onto your knees, so you're in a tabletop. And could be achy. And your mind should go something like, what is that sensation? And then to let the legs go all the way back, come down onto your forearms, please. And once you get onto your forearms, you can feel your hips spread into the mat. And then we'll stay on the elbows and take one fist on top of the other fist. And then just let your forehead come to rest on your top fist. And relax your bum down back into your toes. And your inner thighs, your outer thighs. And putting a light compression into your low back. And feel if there's any tension that you're holding in your neck. How amazing it would feel if somebody just put their hand on the back of your neck and gave it a little squeeze. And then that feeling when they let the hand go and the muscles release, relax the tongue and relax the jaw. And you feel the mat under your elbows. Slowly start to lift your head up. And then we're going to turn onto the left hip. And so your right leg stacks on top. And then use your right hand and kickstand with your left arm. So come to your left palm. And say your wrist is about 6 inches and further forward than your shoulder. Your legs are stacked and toes relaxed, and your right hand is there on the mat and to support you. And then we're just going to allow the left side body, and so where we compress and stress all the muscles in between the ribs, your intercostal muscles. And that's what we're going to start to stretch here. So if you need to adjust your left hand, move it forward a little bit more. If it's too much with the arm straight, you can always go back onto your elbow. The elbows and the knees can be in some of those sensitive spaces in the body, and so if you want to use your blanket or your towel, and you want to be feeling this down the left side of your body. And so once you're there, let your chin settle down towards your chest, and close your eyes and enjoy the process. It's completely normal if you're getting a lot of aches and feelings in your wrist and that hand that's supporting you. And just try to stay with it. And so many times our mind has taught us that we think we're supposed to move around it and figure out the next way that we can rig the system or manipulate the process, and because we think we're smart enough, well, I think we're learning it's not about being smart enough. It's about being equal. It's about being kind. You'll feel it normally after about 2 minutes in the body, even though you haven't moved. And externally, you'll feel the movement internally. And your body kind of turns into goo, like a mold. And the longer we hold the position, the more the filling out the new mold. And we're talking about microscopic space. For example, if you get a muscle to release that was ever so slightly pressing onto a nerve, right? Microscopic space, and that pressure is no longer on the nerve, you no longer have that sensation that you were feeling. Like we were talking about this morning, if you only see things externally with your eyes, then you think you got to move mountains, you think you got to do everything so big and so grand, and be better and improve yourself and do better again, and then improve yourself. Well, that's just the hamster wheel. We're all off the hamster wheel right now. You should be feeling this. About 1 more minute on this side, please. You can feel how your belly has gone into some weird sideways shape. Just let it be. Use your right hand to support you and go slowly to come back down onto your left elbow. Our position to release here is just going to be to lie down onto your left side. And let your head rest into your bicep, but then bend your right leg, and so that your right knee can come down onto the mat. And so you're on your side, but your left leg stays straight, and right leg is bent, and then let your right arm go down, and so the hand is hanging off of your bum. Feel the release in the breath, a slower pace into your natural breath as your left side and your ribs and gain that support from the ground. And then the rest of your body can follow suit, all the way back up into your face and through your jaw. And please, everybody, don't rush it. And when you're ready, you can use your right hand Start to make your way back up onto your left hip. You can bend both of your legs, and then all we're going to do is either roll to the other side. Okay, so I'm facing you. I'm just going to swing my legs out and face the opposite direction, and so that we're coming on to the right hand. Okay, both legs straight, and that right hand is about 6 inches in front of your shoulder, and your ankles stacked one on top of the other. You use your left hand to navigate balance. And then you're going to start to allow your right ribs to fall with gravity towards the ground. And so you're creating that space, or the stretch, if you will, through the intercostal muscles between your ribs. And remember, if it's too much and to stay with a straight arm, you can always go down onto your elbow and pad yourself with blankets or pillows. But all you're doing is searching for that target sensation. So if you're feeling it on the right side of your rib cage, then you're good to go. Let your chin rest to your chest. And close the eyes if you'd like, and enjoy the process. It's one thing to encourage our practice of meditation, but a lot of times meditation comes with a lot of expectation. So that is the exact moment in where we lose the opportunity. And as soon as we start to expect anything from our mind or from our practice, and then we're really missing the point of the opportunity. That is the meditation. There's no wrong way to meditate. And to the contrary, there's no way to say, I'm great at meditating. And so in these poses, you may have quite the dialogue going on inside your mind. And be with it. That's all you got to do, is be with it. And don't push it away. Don't try to change what it is. Be with it. It's totally normal if you're getting a lot of sensation now into your right hand, into your wrists, and little tingles in your fingertips. And we got about 1 more minute here. And gently bring your eyes back into the room. And use your left hand as you start to make your way down onto your right elbow. And then just slide that right arm up and away, and so that you can come down and rest on your right side. And head into your bicep. And then bend your top leg. Let your knee come all the way down onto the ground. And right leg stays straight. And then you can slide your left arm down by your side. Feel here. And sometimes it's in the first pose, sometimes it's in the rebound of the third or the fourth or the fifth pose, and where you really start to feel the shift, not only physically but mentally and emotionally. Nice, you guys. Use your left hand. Press down into the ground and then start to lift your head and start to make your way back up. As you make your way up, we're going to come into a Bodycon Asana, which is a butterfly pose. And so you can face the top of your mat, bring the soles of your feet together, and let your knees fall apart. But then open up that diamond shape in your legs, and so that your heels slide away a little bit. And then take your hands, rest them onto the soles of your feet, and so your thumbs are on the inside and your fingers are on the outside. And you've lengthened your side bodies. And now experience, and if this is already tight here, put a pillow or something underneath your bum, and so that you can elevate your pelvis. And with your knees spread wide, you should feel the pelvis tilt forward. And then begin to release the head down, soften the belly as you're coming into a forward fold. And again, I'll encourage you as though somebody was putting their hand on the back of your neck and giving it a pretty firm squeeze. And you're like, ooh, I didn't even know that's what I was holding on to. And then soften your tongue, release your jaw. And release that stress in your neck and let yourself fall into this space here. Outside of the obstacles of really tight outer hips. And the pillow or bolstering up the bum should help, but this should feel pretty relaxing. It's because we're always held up in the energy of, we've got to direct something, we've got to fix something, we've got to do better, and that we don't really understand what it means and to be a part of this natural world. is a creature, is one that can let go of control within ourselves, and the perspective of control that we try to place on other people. And so if you have these moments in your practice and where you realize in something or a way that you are or a way that you were, please do not judge yourself. And we're here to heal ourselves of these kind of possessions and that we've built up in a safe place, and to break them down. And if it just opens you up a little bit, or it changes your perspective, even if you don't know what it means right now, it's definitely here to serve you at some point. And let the head hang heavy. And those of you that are really getting deep into it, you can crawl your fingertips out on the floor in front of you, and then use that distance of your arms away from your hips and to let yourself fold a little bit deeper here. Remember, as I mentioned at the beginning of the practice, in the spin, it can be difficult to remind ourselves about the beautiful parts of the day, and the gratitude of the day, the blue sky of the day, the lessons of the day, the awakening of the day. And feel it one more time here, like the hand is on the back of the neck. And firm squeeze, and then the release, and to drop you in even deeper, about 5 more breaths or 30 seconds here. And of course, you can do this with your eyes closed, and let your head be the last thing to come up, and feel from the base of your spine and begin to roll up through your spine, one vertebra at a time. As you make your way back to your seat, and cross your legs, please, so one ankle or shin is in front of the other. And place your hands onto your knees, and so we'll catch that space of the rebound here with your head above your heart. And soft shoulders, and let your elbows relax by your sides. place and where you can find that deeper breath without forcing it into your chest. And then a nice sigh and exhale, and to release all the air from your body. So nice, everyone. When you're ready, you're just going to open your eyes and then rock towards your left hip. And we're going to make our way into a pigeon. And so your hips are square, your left knee is outside your left wrist, and your right leg is crawling back on the mat. And if you're not feeling it much in your outer left hip, then you just slide your left forward a little bit. You can always tuck a pillow underneath your outer left thigh. And you can put a pillow between your inner left thigh and your chest. And then once you feel good about your hips being square, your pillow's in a place to support. And the other opportunity is to put something underneath your chest as you come down, and then let your belly or your chest rest. And elbows, and then eventually your forehead can come all the way down towards the ground. And the piriformis muscle, the muscle we're stretching, is connected to your sacrum and down at the base of your spine, and then it travels horizontally towards your outer hip. You most likely, even if you're a significantly open person, you might be feeling this one tonight. It will likely present its challenges, and to remain in this position. And a lot of energy, a lot of emotion, and that we can pack into the hips. And if you're feeling it, a nice technique, without forcing it, of course, is to, let some of that heaviness come out and through your exhales. And settle in a little bit deeper. You're about halfway through on this side. And there's the high potential in that you're still gripping in your right glute, that you're still holding some tension in your jaw. And that there's a deeper space in for you to release into, and so lets that stuff go. And if you notice it to exist, and really practice not reacting to it, not judging yourself for it, and hold yourself accountable into the stillness of the pose. And I totally get it if you had to slide yourself out of it. This is a long pigeon pose. And if you're still in it, and stay with me about 1 more minute. And go nice and slow, everybody, as you start to lift the head. As slow as you possibly can, making your way back up to your hands. You feel this in your entire body. Keep your head heavy. You remove any props or blankets or pillows, and then to get out of it, we're just going to rock onto our left hip. And then slowly slide your back leg forward. And bring both legs out in front of you, and then we'll release onto our backs. And with your legs straight, lying down in Shavasana, and so that you can feel the inner left hip crease release. And the softness in your bum and the space in your low back. And observe the feelings in your left leg versus your right leg as you come all the way down, please. And come all the way down. And let go. Feel it with your belly wide open. And take a nice big deep breath in through your nose. And as you exhale, open the mouth and sigh all the air out of your body. And your left leg should feel significantly different than your right leg. As you shift your awareness back into the ground, start to bend your legs, bring your feet flat onto the mat, please. And once your feet are flat, take your right ankle, cross it to your left thigh so it's like a figure four shape. And then scoot your bum over to the left a little bit. And let both of your knees fall down towards the right. And so the inner edge of your left foot is on the mat. And your right heel is hooked on the outside of your left thigh. And then you can choose to keep your arms down, or you're welcome to take your arms up, or even interlace the fingers behind your head and let your shoulders settle and your head rest into your hands. Keep your head square, take your awareness down your left side body, and envision the outer left hip flexor and releasing the grip, especially coming from that previous pigeon pose. Let's take nice 3 deep Buddha belly breaths. And this might be helping in some of the stress or the weight that you are feeling in your low spine. And then at the end of your next exhale, you can just start to slowly roll your hips back to square. Bring your right foot back down onto the ground. And feel your hips in neutral. And let your arms come back down by your sides. And use as little strength as you possibly can. Roll to either side. And then we're going to meet ourselves in coming back up and to set our pigeon, and with our right leg forward and your left leg back, please. So lean to your outer right hip and swing your left leg straight back behind you. And you set it up again, pillows or blankets under your outer right thigh. And slide your left knee back, and then you can go in pillars or blankets between your right inner thigh and your chest. And I'll use a block and place it underneath my belly, so below the solar plexus. And then come down onto your elbows. And let yourself release all the way down to your forehead. Continue to feel that release as though somebody put their hand on the back of your neck and gave it a pretty firm squeeze. And then when they release and you can feel it letting go. And feel if you're still caught up in your jaw and the muscles in your face. And let yourself release to a whole nother layer. And perhaps even to a place you've never been before. Hopefully you can begin to see in the second half of this posture. And there's so many ways we can go. We have this idea that there's one way. If I could just figure out the formula when the real gift in the experience of this life is to realize and that there's so many ways and there's so many doors. And there's so many parts of yourself and that you have yet to discover, and it's not that you need to discover those when you're in your greatest moments of being challenged. And reminding ourselves it's okay to simply slow down and to restore and to relax and to rest. And to be more human than what we even thought it was to be human. And you can do it, stay with it about 1 more minute. It's a long pigeon. And you can keep your head nice and heavy. Just start to lift yourself up as you make your way onto your palms. And remove any of your props, your blankets, your pillows, and so that you can rock off to your right hip. And then swing your left leg around in front of you. And go ahead and lie down onto your backs, please. Feel the lightness of your breath in your belly. And the ease, hopefully a gentleness all across, down your neck, through your spine, into your pelvis and your inner thighs, knees and your ankles and your toes. You can bend your legs, bring your feet flat onto the mat. Cross your left ankle to your right thigh. And scoot your hips to the right just a little bit, and then let your knees both come down towards the left. And so the inner edge of your right foot is on the ground, and your left heel hooked on the outside of your thigh above the knee. And rest your hands on your belly here. I know there's a lot going on, but through this process, and you may just reach a moment of thanks, an expression of gratitude. Take a nice deep breath into your belly. As you exhale, slowly roll your hips back and square. And release both of your feet flat to the mat. And let both of your legs extend long, coming into your final Shavasana tonight. Our final Shavasana tonight. And welcome you guys to stay in your Shavasana and for as long as you like. When you are ready to move, please move slowly. Be gentle with yourselves, be gentle with each other. I hope you have a nice deep sleep, a nice rest, and I hope to see you tomorrow morning for our 10 a.m. practice. And be well, everybody, and have a beautiful night. Namaste.